Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. I'm so happy that you have joined me this evening. Yes, I know a little late again. You were mad at me last time, I'm sure, but I'm trying to make these things work if I possibly can with everything going on in my life. So yes, I'm here. It's 7:30 on the East Coast, but I'm still here at least to talk to you about, I guess, some of the news that some of you have been paying attention to, I'm sure, happening specifically in the good old state of New York, my state. And for some of you who may have watched my earlier radio show, I do a radio show out of Rochester, New York, remotely, WYSL. I brought up a little bit of these issues about my Lord and Master, His Majesty, King Andrew Cuomo II. Oh, hail the king. So he's in a bit of trouble right now, as you might imagine. And of course, you're guessing, well, Larry, you're going to do a little Tuesdays with Andy today, aren't you? Yes, indeed I am. I have a couple of these things I want to show you, and I'm going to talk about not just about what he's doing, but where I think it may go and why he's doing what he's doing. A lot of people, and I see all the time watching MSNBC and CNN and blah, 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 and they're all like, he's finished, he can't survive. Maybe. I mean, things are looking bad, and I'm going to cover a bunch of those things. Things are looking bad. But I never underestimate my enemy. That's a bad idea. I would rather overestimate him than underestimate him. And right now, I'm still saying he's not done yet. He's when he quits or he's walking out the door, that's when I'll believe it. When not even if they impeach him, if they remove him, then I'll believe it. But until then, I'm gonna assume he ain't going nowhere. That's what I'm saying. Right? I'm going to assume he's going to be right there the whole way. That's what I'm assuming that he's going to be doing. But I could be wrong. I am happy to deal with that. For those of you who don't know what may be happening and may not be sure, there was a recent, as in this morning, which was a gift for me. I mean, thank you, Letitia James. I owe you one. She came out, Letitia James, our AG, came out with a report about how bad Cuomo's environment was. And I will not show you the entire thing, but I will show you a chunk of it, which is what I think is probably the worst part of it. Just so you can see this is good context, and we'll chat about it real fast so you'll see what I'm talking about here if I can show you.
We find that the culture within the executive chamber contributed to the conditions that allowed the governor's sexually harassing conduct to occur and to persist.
Now that is really bad. He says literally, how that the culture he created encouraged the bad behavior. So it's not even like he did something bad and said, okay, I grabbed a woman or said something bad to a woman, which, to be forward, I'm not saying it's okay, but I could at least, anyone could do that, right? You could make a mistake. That is humanly possible. You said something you shouldn't have said. You touched somebody you shouldn't have touched. It's possible that could have happened with an individual, right? If I'm going to pull something out of context, maybe. But what they're saying is, no. This was the norm. Like, this is what happened. And he encouraged it and made an environment so that you couldn't say anything. That is way different than making a mistake and doing something wrong, which, again, anyone could do.
The culture also informed the way in which the executive chamber responded to allegations of sexual harassment, as Ms. Clark has described, through violations of their own policies and through unlawful retaliation.
Now, let me cover that. You guys remember when I was running for office back in 2018, how I said he is a vindictive person? Well, yeah. See, the Republicans made a big mistake. All they did was go, he's corrupt, he's corrupt, he's corrupt. Lots of people are corrupt. That's not what I said. I said he's a bad person. I was the one saying he is a bad human being, that he is a monster and vindictive. I use those words. He's vindictive and a monster. And people thought, well, Larry, you're being harsh. Was I? Yeah, no, I was exactly correct. He is all those things, harsh and vindictive. He's a bad human being. You wonder why I get so mad, and why does he trigger me more than others? Many of the people who are my political enemies, I don't think are actually bad human beings. I think they're just really wrong or trapped in a system or all those types of things. But I've always had a special place in my heart for this man. Why? Because he's a bad human being. He's not just wrong or thinking wrong or trapped in something. He is a bad human being. And this just proves it. I've been saying it for years, so I'm vindicated, but you guys should have voted for me. This would have happened. That's all I'm saying. I'm just, little thing.
Well, what was the culture?
Yes. What was the culture?
Words
Tell
that
me.
Witnesses have used repeatedly to describe it include
repeatedly, not once.
Toxic.
Hostile.
Abusive.
Others
use words like fear. Intimidation.
Yep.
Bullying.
Yep.
Vindictive.
Yep. These are the words that I used. And for some of you, you may have been paying attention as I walked around. I told you that I'd met many people, many politicians as I crossed New York State. And one of them was a mayor of a small city, which I don't want to say what city it was because he might get in trouble still. Maybe I can say it after. If Cuomo actually leaves, I may come clean who it was. But otherwise, I'm not going to say anything who it was. But the one person said, he said, Larry, Cuomo was what happens when the henchman becomes the boss. He literally was like, this guy's a mob boss. And I tell people this. And when I would tell other people who know him this, the funny part is nobody would say, no, that's not true. They all either said, yes, that's true, or man, I could see that. Nobody said, that's not him. I would hope that if someone said that about me, at least somebody would go like, that's not Larry. I mean, some of you probably don't like me and be like, yeah, that guy. But I would hope some of you would say that's not, Larry. Nobody said that about him. They were all like, yep, or yeah, I could see it.
As one senior staffer stated bluntly, as the sexual harassment allegations became public in March of this year in text exchanges
back and
with
forth
others, with another in the in the administration, I quote, hopefully, when this is all done, people will realize the culture, even outside of the sexual harassment stuff, is not something you can get away with.
Yeah.
You can't berate and terrify people 24/7.
For 10 years you can.
Close quote.
But for 10 years you can. That's the issue. It took 10 years. For 10 years you can.
It was a culture where you could not say no to the governor.
Yep.
And if you upset him or his senior staff, you would be written off, cast aside.
Yep.
Or worse.
If you go back and look at the things that I talked about in the past, I know many of you who live in New York would be very upset when your local, assemblyman or senator, state senator, wouldn't be as aggressive against Cuomo as he or she should be. I know many of you were upset about that. And what did I always say? I have some sympathy for them. Remember that? I've said that more than once. I have some sympathy for them because they can't stand up to the monster because he's vindictive and he will punish them and they'll wind up losing their seat. And how he punishes them is through money. He won't give them money for their districts. He'll make sure things don't get built or changed or adjusted. So now the person there, the actual state senator or assemblyman, now looks bad. That's what he would do. So again, not saying that these guys, shouldn't be more aggressive. I'm just saying I have some sympathy when you have some assemblyman or some state senator who thinks they're going to do great and they pop up and go, yeah, I'm going to do great. And then they come across this. They're naive and they get hammered.
But at the same time, the witnesses described a culture that normalized and overlooked everyday flirtations, physical intimacy, and inappropriate comments by the governor.
That was normal.
One senior staffer testified that at a work event, she sat on the governor's lap.
Sat in his lap.
Another staffer said she recalled kissing the governor on the lips.
Now, hold on. He's a staff sitting on the lap, kissing on the lips. Staff. Now, to be clear, if you want to kiss the governor, I don't know why you'd want to, but if you just personally want to kiss the governor and you're some person in New York who wants to smooch the governor if he doesn't care. That's consensual, no worries. But staff, he should know better. Even if, say there's some young staff member, he likes the young lady, so maybe there's a young lady on the staff who really is attracted to the power and she wants to hang out with the governor and smooch on him. Okay, you as the governor should be like, you know what? That's inappropriate. You know what? If we want to date, if that's a thing, but anyway, whatever, it's fine. Then you need to quit and not be on my staff, and then we can date, because then you're just some person, and that's fine. No worries. I don't care if he dates a younger person or not. Not my business. It's the power dynamic that you keep hearing me talk about with him. It is the power dynamic that bothers me. I don't care if he dates younger women. So what? I don't care if women date younger men. That's irrelevant to me. When there's a power dynamic like this, that's a problem. And you know what? I'll go one step further. It's actually not necessarily a bad thing that you happen to be attracted to a younger woman. That could happen. No, a younger person. In this case, younger woman. But what if they're always going after younger women? Yeah, that's a personality issue. You shouldn't always be going after younger staff females who you have power over. That's a problem that you have, right? If you happen to like younger women, that's what you're attracted to. Okay, but there's lots of younger women, like all over the world, literally billions of them, right? There's lots of younger women. But why are you only going after the ones in your staff, the ones you control? See, so the argument you're going to make, I'm not buying it.
The governor testified that those things may have happened with senior staffers.
He literally said, the governor, they may have happened. Yeah, what does that mean? They so happened. They so happened. For him to say, it may have happened. Here's what I know. If a staffer ever sat on my lap, I would remember. I can guarantee you that, because me and that staffer would have had a conversation about that. That I can guarantee you. If some young lady wants to sit on my lap when I'm running for something and she's my staff, we're going to have a conversation, and probably right then and there. It'll be nice and polite, but we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to remember that. It's going to be like, all the women just sit on my lap all the time. How many women sit on my lap? I mean, just, whatever. Tons of them. I can't remember. I mean, that's a problem. If I'm kissing staffers on the mouth, I would think I would remember that. I mean, that seems like it's important. Pete, wouldn't you remember if you're smooching on your staff? I think you'd remember that, right? It may have happened. I kissed so many chicks. I don't know. Is that where he is?
One complainant described her interactions with the governor by saying they were, quote, strange and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it was like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
The typical rules do not apply. You should just view it as a compliment if the governor finds you aesthetically pleasing enough. Close quote.
So you should be happy if if you please His Majesty. Literally, if it pleases the crown. Literally, if it pleases the crown. Oh my God. I'm the king. You should be happy. That's what we're talking about. I can't believe that. Yeah, that's how it is. And people are still going to want to back him. You're going to see.
The coexistence in the executive chamber.
Well, I need to touch something that bothers me. I mentioned the idea of, how people feel. And I have to go one step further. I really feel bad for the young women. For more than just the women who were harassed. Obviously, everyone feels bad for them. But I have a special piece for them and others. And here's why. If you're out in a club or in a bar and you're messing around and you date some older guy and he breaks your heart, that sucks. I don't want anyone's heart to be broken. But at least you were two consenting adults fooling around. Whatever, you did what you did. Relationships sometimes suck. I got it. But think about the type of young woman who goes to work here. That type of young woman, she's trying to make a difference, right? She wants to make something good happen. She thinks she's going to go in there. She's probably naive like most young people are, right? I'm going to go in and I'm going to solve the homeless problem or whatever glory that we're thinking as young people coming out of college, internships and things of that sort, thinking we're going to go work for the government. and we bust our rump. Imagine how many tests these women took. Like, imagine how much work these women did. And what happens? They show up and it's, are you hot or not? What a slap in their face. Now, the women who happen to be hot in his eyes, however he defined hot, well, they got to at least be around, which is terrible because they got harassed. But what about the other women who weren't hot enough in his eyes, who still busted their rump as hard as anybody else, maybe harder because they aren't hot, and maybe guys didn't treat them special because they weren't hot, or at least hot in his eyes? What about those young women who busted their rump to get there, make a difference? And what did they see? They saw, oh, I'm not hot. Nothing's changed. Psh, psh. Why am I bothering? What did I bust my rump for years in college and tests and schooling and all the stuff I did? Working on my resume, meeting people, networking, so I can get this job. So I could be dissed because the governors think I'm hot enough, and to not care. So now you have that whole group of actual straight up victims, the 11 straight up victims, and who knows how many other dozens of women over the course of his 10 years have been devastated, shattered, and they probably wanted to do good. And they're shattered now because of this. There are more victims here. Obviously not as bad. There's levels. Clearly, if you are harassed, that's the highest level. If he's grabbing on you, that's the highest level. Absolutely. And there are also lower level ones on top of that. So someone says Cuomo is Elliot Spitzer on steroids. No. Spitzer was okay. I'm not mad at Spitzer for what he did. I'm mad at his hypocrisy. Those of you who don't know, Elliot Spitzer was our governor before, and what Elliot Spitzer did is he got busted for bringing sex workers from another state into New York State, paying for sex workers to come over. Now, I don't mind the fact that he did that, because the woman who agreed to do his funky stuff, she agreed. That was consensual. She was like, yeah, fly me over. We'll play your games and you write me a check or, whatever. And that was consensual. I don't care what the guy's doing. It's consensual. Life is good. There's no power dynamic. He's paying her to come over and do whatever. Spitzer was into some weird stuff, but whatever. His stuff. Spitzer was into his stuff, and then she left. My problem with Spitzer is he was literally prosecuting people for that crime and put people in jail for that crime. My problem with Spitzer, he's a hypocrite, but not that he was hanging out with sex workers. So I don't care about that. So yeah, but Cuomo was taking advantage of people. Spitzer didn't.
Culture of fear and flirtation, intimidation, and intimacy, abuse and affection, created a work environment ripe for harassment.
That's the
As
point.
Another complainant testified, and I quote,
he's going to quote
what makes it so hard to describe every single inappropriate incident is the culture of the place.
So this was, they're having trouble describing how bad it was because everything was bad. So I could just start when I wake up in the morning and just keep talking. That's how bad it was.
On the one hand, he makes all this inappropriate and creepy behavior normal, and like you should not complain.
Don't complain, a king likes
you. On
the
other hand, you see people getting punished and screamed at if you do anything where you disagree with him or his top aides.
I told you that.
I really just wanted to go to work and be recognized for my work and nothing else.
Yes. It sounds crazy. You want to go to work, do your job, impress your boss, not because you're hot or he thinks you're hot, but because you do good work. And your boss can go, wow, that's good work. You're either hardworking or talented or both. That's amazing. Isn't that what almost everybody wants? They want to do a job, have some pride in it, and make it work. Yeah, that would be great. Not in Cuomo's world. Cuomo's world, you got to wear pumps and look hot and sit out front. Then maybe we'll decide.
Close quote.
And don't say anything. Keep your mouth shut.
Charlotte Bennett, the complainant Ms. Clark mentioned, who was transferred after she reported inappropriate comments by the governor to senior staff, summarized her experience in a text message as follows. Quote,
this is the worst.
The verbal abuse, intimidation, and living in constant fear were all horribly toxic.
Now, here's, and this is my other point, right? As bad as you might feel about your boss, Cuomo, harassing you, treating you like you're a piece of meat, all those things, right? That's, of course, terrible. But now you still think to yourself, particularly if you're a young person, your 20s, and all these women were in their 20s, right? 25, 24, 23, they're all in their 20s. So you're in your 20s, you're a bit naive because you're in your 20s compared to someone in their 40s. And you're thinking, this guy's a good guy. He's my guy. I'm a Democrat. He's Democrat. We're good. Pro women. Love wins. Remember that garbage it always goes? Love wins. I always laugh at that. Well, because I knew that was garbage. And this is proof that it was. And now you say, well, okay, it's him. But clearly the staff is going to help me because even though he's bad, the system is going to protect me, right? Of course you would think that. So you go to your bosses and say, hey, I feel awkward. He, whatever, grabbed my boob or whatever he's doing, right? He put his tongue down my throat, right? He's smooching up on me, whatever he's doing. He's doing that. And your leadership doesn't go, oh my God, you know what? That is a valid claim. Let's investigate. Let's not hang the governor yet. Let's investigate. Let's take what you said seriously and investigate and respect your feelings and move it through the system and give both of you guys due process, which is what is supposed to happen, right? They went, oh, you don't like the fact that he's grabby? You're not happy that His Majesty finds you attractive? Shh, away with you then. That's what you got. So not only did the governor fail her, but then the system failed her there too. The hierarchy also failed her because of the culture that he created. That's even worse. That's even worse.
Dehumanizing.
Yep.
And traumatizing. And then he came on to me.
All that, and now
I
he's
was
going to get your
scared
pants.
to imagine what would happen if I rejected him.
Yep.
So I disappeared instead.
But that's the end of your career.
My time in public service ended because he was bored and lonely.
He was bored and lonely.
It still breaks my heart.
He was bored and
quote
lonely.
From a text that Ms. Bennett wrote.
See that? He was bored and lonely.
The culture.
Well, why was he bored and lonely? Because he's a bad guy and people don't like him. How many times have you seen me do a Tuesdays with Andy? I've been doing it for years. And every time I do it, and he goes, people tell me this. What do I always say? You can go back and look if you care. I would say the same thing. Nobody told you that. You don't have any friends. I would say it right openly. You don't have any friends. Stop acting like people tell you stuff. Only your sycophants tell you stuff. No one else talks to you. You don't have any friends. I said it constantly. How would I know that? Because I can tell the kind of bad human being he is. And now you know, he was lonely. Yeah, and bored. Why? He's got no friends. Literally, he has no friends. That's my point. His only friend is maybe his dog. I'm not sure on that one, but maybe his dog.
This culture made it all the more difficult, if not impossible, for complainants to report the harassment from which they were suffering, particularly when the harasser was the governor of the state of New York.
Yeah. Hey. So that right there gives you the whole idea of what happened. I'm gonna go through his response, which you'll love that piece. But let me grab a couple of comments. You guys are comment ladies tomorrow. Let me grab a couple of comments before I walk down that road, if you can. So, hey, Jay says hi. Hey, Jay, can you hear me? How you doing, my friend? I haven't seen you forever. I will come back up there and I'll see you. I still got your shirt you gave me. Thank you so much. And hold on, guys. Hold on. Wait. This is for you. I still have this, Michelle. Can you see it? You got this for me? Michelle got this for me a while back, so I still have it. Thank you so much. I haven't put it up yet, not because I don't like it. I love it. I have it here. I'm just too lazy. So I will eventually put it up one day. So thank you for that. I still have it. The gifts you guys give me, I keep all of them. So thank you when I get it. I got this one here from Rochester. So I have lots of them. I keep them. So thank you guys when you guys give me the things. I appreciate that. So hi, Jay. Hope you're doing well. So let me keep going if I can. Steve says, Larry, show up. Your grin is palpable. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Daniel says, finally get to watch you live. I appreciate you, Larry. Unlike most politicians, you're consistent in what you say. Keep up the great work. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. What, if anything, does this mean for the Sharpe clock run for governor 2022? Are you my lieutenant governor, Pete? We're gonna talk only about the national debt, though. We got a problem. We gotta change our spin if we do this. We gotta change our spin. Absolutely. John says His Majesty's Facebook page is still maintaining his innocence and has his back. Of course. You think it's Stockholm syndrome or party solidarity? I think it's both, John. I think it's both. I think some people just don't want. They're so afraid that if they lose power, that the right will come in and destroy the entire world, right? They've been trained for decades to believe that if the Republicans win, the world blows up. They just believe that in their hearts. And there are some people who feel that. And there are others who actually have Stockholm syndrome. They think, no, it's got to be a lie. But if you read, by the way, his lawyer did an 85-page rebuttal. Yes, 85 pages. Every single person required went down as to why they have a reason to lie or be wrong or misunderstand him. I'm not joking. One is she was going to get fired. The other one was she wants money. Oh yeah, right down the line. He's going nowhere. He's gonna fight every one of them. You're gonna see coming down here. I don't know, a month from now, there's gonna be reasons why. Oh, this one's a liar. This one's no good. And all this lawyer has to do to make things go wrong. And remember, Cuomo used to do this. So him and his lawyer, they know this. And he got a female lawyer, brilliant, because he's smart. He knows this. He's played this game before, right? He's AG. He's played this game before. So he's going to know that if he can just crush one of those 11, just one, he'll say, see, she's wrong, and they're all wrong. And that will be his defense. He will try to get one to be like a gold digger or something. He'll come up with some reason. And if that happens, yep. And if his allies agree, that'll be all over the newspaper. Yes, absolutely. It's interesting how Cuomo's doing what his former boss Bill Clinton did while in office. No. Cuomo's worse than all of them. As much as Monica Lewinsky was young and naive, and she was willing. She was consenting. Now, don't get me wrong. There was still a power dynamic, and it was totally wrong what Bill did. What Bill Clinton did was wrong. I'm going to be clear, but I'm saying there's levels, right? What Spitzer did was wrong. There's just levels of it. At least Bill Clinton, he was clearly using his power dynamic, and it was bogus what he did. He should have done it. But at least Monica was willing, right? At least she was consenting. So it's not as bad. Still bad. What Cuomo's doing, these women don't want. These women don't want it at all. Way worse, Andrew. What Cuomo's doing, worse than what Bill Clinton did. Again, I'm not excusing Bill Clinton. He used his power dynamic, and he should not have. I'm just saying, at least Monica was consenting. That's makes it, I don't know, out of 10, it's like 8 bad. Cuomo's like 15 bad. Well, no, 12 bad. Anyway, so that's what I mean by that. Yes. All right. Leslie said he's going to go kicking and screaming. Yes. Yes, absolutely. He's a trapped animal, says Michelle, and they are more dangerous. Yes, he's fighting for his life. I've told you that he is a monster, and he has a machine. Not done yet. Hey, how you doing, Barry? Roman says, Larry Sharpe, it's August now. When will you make an announcement for governor? Please run. Guys, I'm being very forward with you. I've told you before, I'm looking for support, and I'm hoping this will give me more support. I'm looking for some big donors to get behind me. I'm looking for some big people to be prepared to endorse me. And if I can't get it, what can I do? I got to be able to make a big run, right? And I've been thinking, I have to have some conversation with some people close to me. I haven't had them yet. I need to have those conversations of whether I want to try to get multiple lines this time or not. Last time when I ran as Libertarian, which is the right answer. I'm glad I did it. Now I'm considering taking on multiple lines. So I got to walk down that road too. So it's going to be a bit longer than I had anticipated. So yes. Logic Win says, voted for you several years ago, Larry. Your Majesty has fallen. Not yet. Thank you for the vote. Not yet. So maybe. Joe says, Tish doesn't play, man. That would be Letitia James, who was our Attorney General. I'm in my second year at Lehman. She did a Zoom for us in the spring with President Lemons. Oh, nice. I appreciate that. Thank you. Pelosi asked from leave. Yes. And Schumer, I will bring that up also. Yes, absolutely. I completely agree. So Tony says, AG James' eyes on the governor's mansion on the road. I think you're right, Tony. I think that's part of what she's doing. See, at one point, James has got to make a decision. I mentioned this earlier, if you remember. I said James will do one of two things, and I was right on this too. If any of you paying attention, I said, one, it's totally softball, and it's like nothing here to see, in which case he has agreed that she's going to fall back, get back under his wing, be quiet, and let him run. That's option one. Option two, she comes out guns blazing because she's decided he's the enemy and he's going to fight, and she's going to fight him. And she picked that one. There can be no middle ground with him, because once you go to war with him, you go to war with him. Remember, I mentioned that. If you go to war with him, you go to war. And hats off to Letitia James. She's like, all right, I guess we're going to war then. And she's like, we're going to war. So she mustered her forces. She came out hard and broke down the door, and she's coming on in, and that's it. And it looks like right now, Cuomo's got no allies. No allies right now, but that doesn't mean the war's over. But right now, he's surrounded and in trouble. I think Michelle's right. People all turning on him. It's absolutely true. So, yes. So, all right. Blast and Smash says, Larry, pretend you're Las Vegas. What are the odds you give on Cuomo wheezing out of this? Right now, I still think he has a chance of literally still being the governor 3 years from now. I know people like you crazy. No, I don't. And you'll see from this will shake out one way or the other in about 30 days. Give or take 30 days. This will shake out. Maybe even 2 weeks. But I'm going to guess about 30 days. Within 30 days, we'll know. If he's broken any of those 11, and or the news cycle turns into something else, like COVID or whatever, and he does that thing, because that's what he's doing, is the COVID thing. Or maybe he'll defend us against de Blasio, right, or something like that. If that kind of thing happens, he'll wheeze right out of it. They'll forget about it, move on, whatever. I think that'll happen. I think there's a chance. Now, if that doesn't happen, then he's in trouble, because I think at one point the Democrats will just have to start working with him again. That's what I think. So I'm sorry, I didn't give you odds. If I'm going to go odds, I think it's probably right now I'm at 65-35. 65, he's out of it. 35, he fails. I'm right now at 65-35. 65%. He's still the nominee next year. 35%. He bails before they throw him out. That's my gut. So yes, James says literally one of the worst humans. I would agree. He's a bad human being. It's what I've been saying. A lot of you wonder why he gets under my skin so much compared to all the other Democrats, all the other Republicans, all the other socialists, because I think most of them aren't actually bad people. They're just wrong, or they've been taught something bad, or they don't get it. Any of those things. They've had bad experiences. Very few of them are actually bad people. This guy's a bad guy. He's a bad human being. That's the issue. When he says, Tony Richards, is she a monster behind the curtain as well? Ooh. Yeah, is Tish a hidden monster? Maybe. But could it be worse than Cuomo? Wow. If she's worse than Cuomo, oh my God. I tough to imagine that. Tough to imagine that. Blaze goes, don't worry, you're always voting someone just as bad. I hope not. Please, are there that many monsters like him running around? God, I hope not. God, I really hope that's not. Please. Oh my God. Yes. Matthew Ellis says, Cuomo gets Italians a bad name. There's a little truth to that. A little bit. Little truth to that. When he says, I voted for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Andrew says, the Republicans didn't do anything prior to this, and now they're whining about removing him from office. Our state senator just blames Democrats when his party didn't do anything to remove Cuomo. This is my point, Andrew, and I have a little bit of, and you can see it now, I have a little bit of sympathy because of what they have to go through. He is a monster to fight. It is. So there's a little bit there. Chris, brother, how are you, sir? Congrats. Chris says, don't blame me. I voted for Larry Sharpe. Yes, indeed. I appreciate that. Let me now go through, if I could. This is gold, by the way. This is gold. You will enjoy this. Some of you will vomit, but after you wipe the vomit from your mouth, you may still enjoy the game, even though it's evil. It's like watching someone who does something terrible, but they're just really good at it. Like, wow, he's good at it. So let me grab this one if I could. This is him. This is a response.
The past several months, you have heard a number of complaints brought against me.
Yes, true.
I called for an independent review, and I said at the beginning I would let the process unfold. I didn't want anyone to say that I interfered. I said I would hold my tongue, and I have, making only...
You really haven't. You've really told people already that it's all political. And he knew there was going to be an investigation. So he asked for one up front so that it would feel like he's doing it in good faith. That's the reason. It would looks like he's doing it. Remember, he's done this before. He's been an AG. He knows exactly how this works.
Limited comments. It has been a hard and a painful period for me and my family, especially as others feed ugly stories to the press.
You know, don't you feel bad for him and his family? Right? It's about him. It is. Why are we beating up on the king? I'm kidding, clearly. But he cannot help to make it about himself.
But I cooperated with the review, and I can now finally share the truth.
See, he cooperated with the review. So he's good. He's cooperating. That's a good sign.
My attorney, who is a non-political former federal prosecutor.
She's non-political. Do you know anybody who's non-political? Why does he say non? Remember, everything he says in this, be clear, everything he says in this is scripted. So he says, me and my family. He's a human being. You should feel sorry for him. He's also a victim, right? And my lawyer who's non-political, all those other ones are political because it's all about politics. That's why he's saying it.
Has done a response to each allegation.
Every one of them.
And the facts are much different than what has been portrayed.
Your facts are. That's true.
That document is available on my website.
I saw it, 85 pages.
If you are interested, please take the time to read the facts and decide for yourself.
Read your facts, not the facts.
First, I want you to know directly from me.
Tell me.
That I never touched anyone inappropriately.
Never.
Or made inappropriate sexual advances. I am 63 years old.
I know.
I've lived my entire adult life in public view.
Yes.
That is just not who I am.
Yes, I called who you were 4 years ago. I saw exactly who you were. I watched your public. I watched your wife on HBO. Well, former wife on HBO and how you used her on an HBO special when she got cancer. Then you divorced her. I remember that. I watched all that stuff, my friend. I know exactly who you are. I watched how you married a Kennedy because you wanted to make sure that you got in power. You didn't love her. Stop that. I know exactly who you are. You've never had a private job in your life. I know exactly who you are. You talk about your dad all the time. You're a mob boss. You're a silver spoon kid who tries to pretend like he's a poor kid from Queens. Stop lying. I know exactly who you are.
And that's not who I have ever been.
Yeah, it is. Kind of.
There is one complaint that has been made that bothered me most.
Yeah.
That was a complaint made by a young woman, Charlotte Bennett.
Yep, because that
who
hurt
worked in my office.
Yep.
And it's important to me that you fully understand the situation.
What happened?
Charlotte worked in my office last year as an assistant. She was smart, talented, and eager to learn.
And young and hot. Don't forget that part. Young and hot. See, for most people, when you're talking about a professional, the idea they're young and hot has virtually no value. That's not a thing that we care about if you're looking for someone to do a job. Unless you're His Majesty, in which case, yeah, that kind of matters.
She identified herself to me as a survivor of sexual assault.
So she just walked up and said, hi, Governor. Hi, Governor of New York, who's old enough to be my father. I wanted to tell you that I am a victim of sexual assault. I mean, maybe that happens. I don't know why, but I guess maybe that happens.
She said that she came to work in my administration because of all the progress we had made in fighting sexual assault.
So she saw what, she saw what you, apologize. I scripted
directly from me.
Let me move forward. I apologize.
Made by a young woman, Charlotte Bennett, talented and eager to
There we
learn.
go. Sorry, I screwed up that.
She identified herself to me as a survivor of sexual assault.
Yep, she just walked in and said it.
She said that she came to work in my administration because of all the progress we had made in fighting sexual.
So she had been sexually assaulted, and she thought the most effective way to fix it is to work for the governor. Because I don't know about you, but when I think about people who have fought against sexual assault, first I think, Cuomo. Is that also, can we buy this? I mean, maybe, but you hear what he's saying? He's saying he's setting the stage for he is someone who cares about women. He's setting the stage. See, we've done so much to stop this. So clearly it's not in my character. He understands, there's a very big advantage here. He understands that if he were to go into a courtroom, that he can't bring this up as evidence, right? Any lawyer's going to throw this out. He's going to fight. He can't say this stuff. And if he goes and says it himself, he gets cross-examined. So he can't do it. But he's the governor. So he has the bully pulpit. So he has guys like me and others who are going to watch this 1,000 times. So he is now going to use this as a way of poisoning the well so that they can't get a jury, so they can't get people, so they'll believe that it can't convict him. If people will grab onto that, start saying these talking points, you were asking earlier about his Facebook page. If they start bringing up these talking points and they feel it in the social sphere and they feel it in the public sphere, and if the press takes a hold of this, they're going to realize that they don't have the way to put him away, and he gets off. So he's setting the stage now because he can. It's actually a very smart move because he can never do this in a courtroom.
Assault. She talked about the personal trauma that she endured and how she was handling it.
So let me be very clear. Think about how cruel this man actually is. If he found out about this, either she really believed in him, that's option one, and she believed in him, and she thought he was going to help, so she shared this horrible thing with him, and he thought, oh, good, I can use this to get in your pants. Wow. What a monster. Not let me help the person. I can use this to get in your pants. Thanks for sharing. Or he probed her. Because guys, predators like him, they probe young women to find a hole. They're looking for the one who they think is in some way, shape, or form weak or broken or whatever. They're looking for that one who likes them too much or anything like that. And when they find it, that's the one they grab. So the odds are he probed her. She let go because she thought this guy cares about her. And he goes, oh, great. Now I can use that against her to get in her pants.
I could see how it had affected her.
Yeah, you could.
I could see her pain.
Yeah, you could. You would use that.
People now ask me, why was I even talking to this young woman?
Yeah. Why were you doing that? That's a good question. Now, not that I'm against helping young people. I do it often. And many of you know, if you've watched, if you've reached out to me, I've helped lots of young people. I do it all the time. But they never sit on my lap, like ever. Never. And they never kiss me in the mouth. Ever. That's never happened. In fact, I tried to help them. Then they went on their way. We didn't start doing anything. That was it.
If I knew she was dealing with such issues.
Yes.
Why did I even engage with her?
Why would you do that?
That is the obvious and fair question.
It is.
And one I have thought a lot about.
Not as much as you probably should. Well, now you have. Earlier you didn't. You weren't thinking at all. You were like, oh, good. You were on automatic pilot because you've been abusing women for 10 years, at least, probably more, but at least 10 years that we know about. You've been abusing women. So you weren't thinking much at all. You were just like, here's another one. That's what you were thinking. Now you're thinking about detail because now you're like, how do I get out of this one?
The truth is,
tell me,
that her story resonated deeply with me. I had heard the same story before.
You went through
with
this
the same
before.
Ugliness, the same injustice, the same damage.
You've been it.
Not only had I heard the story before.
Yeah.
I had lived with the story before.
You lived it. You went through this.
My own family member.
Oh, someone else.
Is a survivor of sexual assault in high school. I have watched her live and suffer with the trauma.
See
I would do anything to make it go away for her. But it never.
See that? You people think he was trying to get in her pants. He wasn't. He lived this because someone told him a story. So he lived it. And now he's like, I know I run the entire state. I know I got staff everywhere. I know we got stuff going on. But this hits home, and I'm going to go help her by making out with her because that'll fix it.
Never really goes away. I spent countless days and nights working through these issues with her and therapists and counselors.
You were with the therapist, sitting next to him. You had counselor. You picked your own counselor. You were up at night all night long, worried about this. God, John, why do you not understand that he was up all night? Couldn't sleep. That's why the state's so screwed up. The state's messed up because he's out there trying to help people with sexual assault issues. See that? That's the problem.
I'm governor of the state of New York.
Doesn't matter.
But I felt powerless to help.
No power.
And felt that I had failed her.
See that?
I couldn't take the pain away. I still can't. And
so you just thought you'd add some more. I can't take it away. Double down. I'm with you, man.
This young woman brought it all back.
So her fault. She brought it all back. It's her fault. See that? It's her fault. All right, we found it. He hasn't blamed Trump for this yet, so I guess this is not bad. We're doing pretty good so far. We're blaming her. We're blaming the victim instead of blaming Trump. Not too bad. Okay.
At the same age. I thought I had learned a lot about the issue from my family's experience.
See that?
I thought I could help her work through a difficult time.
You were going to be a therapist.
I did ask her questions I don't normally ask people.
I'm not sure that's
true. I did ask her how she was doing and how
you don't ask people how they're doing. What kind of question are we talking about? You don't ask people how they're doing. I do.
She was feeling.
I asked that question.
And I did ask questions to try to see if she had positive supportive dating relationships.
You did ask questions if she had positive support of dating relationships. Who wrote that one? That's really good. That's really good. So, baby, you date older men? I'm just asking if she's got positive support from dating relationships, Chris. So stop busting my stones, okay? Would you date an older guy like 60-some odd years old? Michelle, I'm just asking if she's got support. So stop thinking it's creepy.
I know too well the manifestations of sexual assault trauma. And
because you've been doing it for so long, you know exactly how it works. You know how to do it. You know, you've watched people scramble away from you. This is what he's telling the truth. He does know exactly how that works. He's been doing it for years.
The damage that it can do in the aftermath.
You've done tons.
I
11
was
people that we know.
to make sure she was working her way through it the best she could.
Yes. Yep.
I thought I had learned enough.
See that?
And had enough personal experience to help her.
Well, you thought you learned enough that you knew you could cover it up for enough time, but eventually it kind of came out. But I got you. I'm with you.
But I was wrong.
Yeah, you were.
I've heard Charlotte and her lawyer, and I understand what they are saying.
I'm glad you heard them.
But they read into comments that I made.
Yeah.
And draw inferences that I never meant.
You never meant those things.
They ascribe motives I never had.
Never had the motive. All he wanted to do was see if she, what was the story he said? Support of dating relationships. That's all he cared about. That's why he was asking and putting his tongue down her throat and grabbing her, because he was just seeing if she had support. That's all he was doing.
And simply put, they heard things that I just didn't say.
They heard stuff.
Charlotte, I want you to know that I am truly and deeply sorry.
Of course he is.
I brought my personal experience into the workplace.
He's just a lover. I mean, he's just a lover. You know what Cuomo's problem is? You doubters. He cares too much. That's what it is. He cares too much. Sees somebody there, wants to help her. So where's the unattractive woman that he was concerned about? Where's that one? The one who doesn't flirt with him. Where's that one that he helped out? Is that one going to come up and go, oh yeah, and he helped me out too? And I'm the one who doesn't dress well and doesn't care about her hair, and I'm not hot in his eyes. So is that one going to pop up? Or is the guy going to pop up who, is straight and doesn't care about him and doesn't want to sleep with him? Is that guy going to show? Yeah, no, he's not. Only the hot girls are going to show up. So yeah, probably not true.
And I shouldn't have done that.
Show me the frumpy dude.
I was trying to help.
Then I'll believe you.
Obviously, I didn't.
Yeah.
I am even more sorry that I further complicated the situation.
You did.
My goal was the exact opposite.
You didn't. This is true. He's telling the truth also. His goal was not to make things complicated. His goal was to get in her pants and then get her out of there. So that's true.
I wish nothing but good for you.
See that?
And for all survivors of sexual assault.
All of them survivors of those people.
There's another complaint I want to address from a woman in my office who said that I groped her in my home office.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. That never happened.
She's a liar.
She wants anonymity, and I respect that. So I am limited but what I can say. But her lawyer has suggested that she will file a legal claim for damages.
Now, what does that mean? He says, she wants anonymity, and I respect that. No, you don't. You're using that as an excuse so that you can't give out details, because we're wondering, how does she think you grabbed her? And now, according to Letitia James, that's corroborated through other people. Supposedly, that's what she says. If that's true, and she's now going to submit a claim for damages, what is the assumption here? And watch people do it. He's giving all of his fans ammunition to start talking this up. That's what he's doing. So for the first one, the ammunition, as I was saying jokingly, is going to be a real story. The story in the first one was she didn't get it. He was trying to help. She misunderstood. He was trying to help. That's the story for the first one. This second one, the story is it's about the money. She just wants to make some cash. That's why he brings this up. Her lawyer is going to sue me to get some cash. So it's all about the money. The first one, it's the victim's fault, but not because she's mean. She was just young and didn't get it. The second one, this is because she just wants the money. The second one is a money grubber. That's his second answer.
That will be decided in a court of law. Trial by newspaper or biased reviews are not the way to.
Who did the review? Oh, that was Tish James and her people. Biased reviews.
To find the facts in this matter. I welcome the opportunity for a full and fair review before a judge and a jury.
So now you need a full and fair review, the judge and a jury. Now, why does he say that? Because he wants any lawyer to know, I'm not settling. Why would he do that? Why does he say that? He wants every lawyer out there to know, I'm not settling. And if you do one of these damage suits against him, you're a lawyer, you don't get paid unless you win. You're going to fight Cuomo and the state of New York? That's years of battle and lots of money. And if you lose, you don't get paid a dime. A whole bunch of lawyers just said, I'm out. A bunch of lawyers just said, I'm out. So now you've just made the pool of lawyers shrink. So you've shrunken the pool of lawyers. And because every lawyer who's going to take this case is going to watch this, right? And be like, do I want to fight this dude? Do I want to gamble on you? Let me think about that. So you shrunk the pool of lawyers. There will still be some who will take it, but it'll be pro bono work and stuff like that. But you shrunken the pool for a bunch of those. And again, you only have to get one woman to be a liar. Only one. So even if 10 get great lawyers, but one doesn't, you get one. So you shrunk the pool of lawyers just now. And not just that. You're telling everyone else, I'm going all the way to a fair trial, insinuating that the other review wasn't fair, that only this one will be fair. And how long will it take for something to get in the court? Could take years, couldn't it? Could take years. Elections next year.
Because this just did not happen.
Didn't happen.
Other complainants raised against me questions that have sought to unfairly characterize and weaponize everyday interactions that I've had with any number of New Yorkers.
See, they're weaponizing stuff against him. That's the problem. They're mischaracterizing and weaponizing.
The New York Times published a front page picture of me touching a woman's face at a wedding.
I remember that.
And then kissing her on the cheek. That is not front page news.
Not when you're the king.
I've been making the same gesture in public all my life.
You've been grabby for a long time.
I actually learned it from my mother and from my father. It is meant to convey warmth, nothing more.
That's it?
Indeed, there are hundreds.
I'm grabbing your face like a parent. Let me be very clear. I learned it from my mother and father, my parents. So I learned to treat people like children, and I thought that was okay. Literally what he said, right? I learned to be treated like a child by my parents. So I decided to treat all my other peasants the same way. Well, they were king and queen, so why can't I treat you all peasants that way? But that's what he's actually saying. What he's trying to absolutely, get out to everybody is, oh, it's not bad. It's just the way I do things, right? It's not prejudiced or biased if I do it to everybody, right? If I treat you all like peasants, isn't that fine?
If not thousands of photos of me using the exact same gesture.
Show me.
I do it with everyone.
Everybody. There we go.
Black and white.
People, white people.
Young and old.
Young people, old people, all of them.
Straight and LGBTQ.
See that? Did the right numbers.
Powerful people.
Love it. Checked every box. Come on. That's good, right? See, now, what he does with this one, and some of you may not get why he did that. He does this because he wants to make sure that everyone who's on the left understands that he's their guy. He's their protector. So don't abandon him, because he'll get behind you. He'll play the game with you. He'll do it. And if you get rid of him, those evil Republicans come in and I guess kill gay people. Is that what they do? Whatever. That's what he's going to tell them they're going to do. They're going to kill all the gay people if a Republican governor's elected, right? Whatever. That's what he's going to say. So he wants you to think that. So before they put the old people, well, actually he kills old people. Before whatever, just see I'm your guy. That's what he's doing here.
Friends, strangers, people who I meet on the street. After the event, the woman told the press that she took offense at the gesture.
She took offense at that.
And for that, I apologize.
He's sorry.
Another woman stated that I kissed her on the forehead at our Christmas party. And
I kiss my children on the forehead. That's a true thing I do. This goes back to the kid thing. So I get it. I've been treating you all like peasants for my entire life. Yes, that doesn't make it okay.
And that I said, ciao, Bella. Now, I don't remember doing it, but I'm sure that I did. I do kiss people on the forehead.
Yep.
I do kiss people on the cheek.
You do?
I do kiss people on the hand.
Yeah.
I do embrace people.
I've seen you do it.
I do hug people.
Yep.
Men and women. I do on occasion say...
I hug lots of people. People who know me, I meet you. I will very often hug you. But it's very rare I'll start smooching on you or filling you up. I just don't think that's appropriate. And if I were to ever smooch any of you or feel any of you up, it would only be if you asked me to. And then I still might not. But at least that would be the only way I would. I'm really about consent, right? I'm not against people who want to get felt up or smooched. It's fine. Do you. Just make sure that you want it to happen from the person who's doing it.
Ciao, Bella. On occasion, I do slip and say sweetheart or darling or honey.
See that?
I do banter with people. I do tell jokes, some better than others.
No, they're all bad.
I am the same person in public as I am in private.
That's a lie. That is a blatant lie. Now, does he have some of the same characteristic? Yes, arrogant. Yes, all those things. But in private, he's clearly worse because people don't think he's who he is. And I knew who he was.
You have seen me do it on TV through all my brief.
I remember going to the shower. I remember that. Yep.
And for 40 years before that.
Yep.
I try to put people at ease. I try to make them smile.
It's funny. He says I put people at ease, make them smile. Yet everybody who works for him is like, he's a goddamn tyrant. He makes us all feel horrible. Maybe you're not the same person, my friend.
Connect with them. And I try to show my appreciation and my friendship.
See that? He loves people.
I now understand that there are generational or cultural perspectives that, frankly, I hadn't fully appreciated.
You've only been the governor of one of the most diverse states for 10 years. You're 63 years old, and you didn't figure out, oh, some people don't want me to grab their butt. Some people would rather I not stick my tongue down their throat. Oh, that's a cultural thing, I guess.
And I have learned from this.
See, you've learned. He's growing.
Now, the state already has an advanced sexual harassment training program for all employees.
This part's brilliant, too. I mean, he wraps it up with such mwah. See? So what he's going to do is he's going to give himself sexual harassment training. See? That's all I had to do was give myself better sexual harassment training. I'm not even joking. That's his answer. See, I'm already going to fix it. You don't have to impeach me or anything. What the problem is, we didn't have good enough sexual harassment training, so I'm going to hire a specialist. They're going to come in and show me how to not grab people's butts. I'll just do that and not only talk to the people I think are hot. See, they'll teach me that because I haven't figured out not to just stick my tongue in people's mouth. Don't do that.
Including me. But I want New York State government to be a model of office behavior. And I have brought in an expert to design a new sexual harassment policy and procedures and to train the whole team, myself included.
Oh, see that?
I accept responsibility, and we are making changes.
See that? It only took him 10 years being the governor to figure out, oh, this toxic environment we're punishing people around here, yeah, it's not good. I'm going to bring an expert in, and we're going to have new sexual harassment training. This is the glory of this. He's the bad guy. It's his fault. He's now going to double down, take control of it, and now he's going to fix things. See that? He's fixing stuff. You thought he wouldn't. Yeah, he is. He's making brand new sexual harassment stuff. Going to train everybody, not just him. He's training the whole place. Everyone's getting trained with a new expert. What would you do without him?
Other complaints relate to the work environment.
Work environment, that's right.
Now, I have always said my office is a demanding place to work and that it is not for everyone.
It isn't. You got to be hot and young and be okay with getting felt up. So he's right. So you got to be hot, young, and be okay with being felt up. That's true. And not everyone is that and is okay with that. Valid point.
We work really, really hard.
Of course.
My office is no typical 9-to-5 government office.
You can't be filling people up in the morning. So yeah, you got to work late nights. I get it. It's tough. And then you spend all your time grabbing people, smooching them and stuff. How you getting any work done? No wonder you're working late every night. It's a tough joint.
And I don't want it to be.
I know you don't.
The stakes we deal with are very high.
They are.
Sometimes even life and death.
Almost never.
We have to get the job done. I promised you that I would.
He promised me. See, Michelle, you talking all kind of trash? He promised us. He's just living a promise. Okay, so you got to be grabby once in a while. He's life and death and promises and stuff. That's important. So he grabs somebody once in a while. What do you care? Get no preachy on him. He's life and death in. Didn't he just say that?
And I will.
Why don't you do it for me?
But now, a number of complaints target female managers.
Oh.
Which smacks to me of a double standard.
Brilliant.
First, when have you ever seen male managers maligned and villainized?
All right. So he's brought up almost everyone, right? He brought up the sexual harassment piece. He brought up the grabby piece. Then he's touching every one of them, and he's giving him people who support him ammunition to start talking about this online, out in the public. If anyone gets behind him, now maybe no one gets behind him. That's possible. Again, we'll know within 30 days, maybe a couple of weeks, if no one gets behind him. But if people get behind him and start saying these things, that's how he'll know if he's winning, right? His people are watching this. If this starts to happen, people start using these talking points, then you'll know that he's winning, right? So now he's turned it again. He turned the sexual harassment part into, well, there was cultural stuff, so I'm going to fix it. See? Don't got to get rid of me. And now this next one. See, the attacks on the hostile workplace, that's not an attack on me. That's an attack on women. Yes, he literally just made it that he's the savior for women. The guy who's accused by 11 women of sexual harassment has just said, you people are all misogynist. That's what he's just said. Watch.
For working long hours or holding people accountable or for being tough. A strong male manager is respected and rewarded. But a strong female manager is ridiculed and stereotyped.
And if she's hot, she gets felt up. But if she's not hot, she just gets to be the bad guy. That's how your office works. If you think she's hot, you get to feel her up and stuff, then it's fine. Or kiss her, whatever you do with her. But if she's not hot, she gets to be your captain or your lieutenant. She gets to be the bad guy. She's your heavy. And she gets to punish the other ones. That's literally what happens. But he has created an environment to where his henchmen are evil people who he doesn't feel up, I guess. Right? I guess you don't feel those people up, right? So then they become the bad guys. I made myself laugh on that one. Good one. So then they become the bad guys and they harass the other ones. And now he's blaming the other people for the environment that he set up. That's what he's doing right now.
It is a double standard.
See that?
It is sexist.
It's sexist.
And it must be challenged.
You better challenge that, Letitia James. She's a sexist. She's a misogynist. Oh, all this time I thought Letitia James was not, and now you have. Thank you for clearing that up. She's a misogynist. She's a woman-hating woman. Is that right? She's a woman-hating, yeah. Self-hating woman. That's what she is. She's just trying to make my managers bad. Wow. Good spin, though. Really good spin. Note, he took the bad and turned it into his and threw it right back. Now he's the savior. Well done, lawyers. Well done, consultants.
Also, remember where we are.
Where are we? Tell me.
Today, we are living in a superheated, if not toxic political environment. That shouldn't be lost on anyone.
Okay, hold on. Does he bring Trump in now? Because this would be the perfect time to blame Trump for this. I mean, I don't know if he can. He goes out of his way to somehow make it Trump's fault. So this could be it. Let's see if he's going to do Trump or not. But it's politics. No. He might not bring up Trump. What he'll do is he'll bring up Letitia James, and she wants to be governor. And that's why they did it.
Politics and bias are interwoven throughout every aspect of this situation.
Except for your lawyer.
One would be naive to think otherwise.
That's true.
And New Yorkers are not naive.
Yeah, they are. They vote for you.
I understand these dynamics.
You do very well.
My father used to say, God rest his soul, that politics is an ugly business.
That's true.
As usual, he was right.
It's right. I mean, it's ugly. You got to get into it. You got to be felt up by you. That's kind of ugly. Yeah.
But for my father and for me,
yeah,
it's worth it.
Because you have power.
Because despite it all,
yeah,
at the end of the day,
you get to take advantage of young women. That's true. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, you get to take advantage of young women and be powerful and be a tyrant. I think for someone of your personality, it's completely worth it. I would agree. You're right.
We get good things done for people.
Sorry, I read that
And
wrong.
that is what really matters.
Oh, I thought it was the feel up women and stuff.
And for those
Sorry.
who are using this moment to score political points or
see, they're using the moment to score political points. That's what you're doing. See that? You guys think he's a bad guy. He's not bad. It's politics. People just using this to score political points. It has nothing to do with 11 women and their hopes and dreams being crushed. It has nothing to do with that. People who now have to spend the rest of their life, particularly some of them, being known as the girl he felt up for the rest of their lives. It's not that. No. It's politics, misunderstandings, and money-grubbing women. See, that perfect storm is what's got him. That's the problem.
Publicity or personal gain. I say they actually discredit the legitimate sexual harassment victims that the law was designed to protect.
See that? You people who are coming after him, there's real predators out there. He just said that. He's OJ. He's going to go find the real killers. So, OJ Cuomo, go find the real harassers because you're the fake one. They just kind of take you down because you're a champion for women, right? So the evil harassers want to take you down so they can do more real harassing. That's the whole conspiracy. There's like big pharma, there's big harass, and those people, they put all these 11 women up to it to get rid of him because he's the chief anti-harasser, pro-woman person, and when they get rid of him, then they can do all the real harassing. He just said that, right? Did I miss that? Isn't that what he just said? Coming after him, the real harassers are getting away. He's literally O.J. Simpson looking for the real killers.
My last point is this.
Tell me.
I say to my daughters all the time,
bring the daughters in.
That as complicated as life gets is as simple as life is.
That makes no sense.
My job is not about me.
It's not.
My job is about you.
He just cares too much. I'm getting verklempt. He cares so much. And the real harassers are going to get away. So stop messing with him and he'll go find the real harassers.
What matters to me at the end of the day is getting the most done I can for you.
Aww.
And that is what I do.
That's what he every day. Gets up in the morning, fills some young women up, starts to get some work done, gets lonely and bored, inappropriately hugs women, squeezes their butts, then goes back to work a little bit, gets something to eat, comes back, puts his tongue down some hot woman's throat, comes and working for me though. For me. Why am I so selfish as to understand that messing with him, now the real harassers are escaping? Selfish people. Tisha James. She's probably part of the big harassers, is what she is.
And I will not be distracted from that job.
Not distracted.
We have a lot to do.
We do. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you're going to distract me with right now and show me how you're going to be helping me. It's got to be COVID for sure. I mean, I don't know what else is in there, but it's got to be COVID. COVID and. Didn't hear Trump yet, so maybe is a Trump in here?
We'll have to manage the COVID beast. It is not dead yet. It's not over.
You will keep that thing alive as long as you possibly can. COVID's going to be going on for at least till after the election. I can guarantee you that. COVID's still here. You're gonna be, there's more cases somewhere. Oh, there's another one over there. I'm going to protect you.
We then have to reopen and reimagine our state.
I know you've destroyed it.
Because our future is going to be what we make it.
You've destroyed it, so you're right.
I know we can do these things.
Why?
Because I know the strength and the character of New Yorkers.
Yeah, you don't have any of it, but yeah.
Look at the progress we made on COVID. It is amazing. We went from the highest infection rate in the country to one of the lowest infection.
Yeah, you let us have the highest infection rate in the country. Then you killed off several thousand older people in nursing homes. That cuts the rate down. You know, they're not counting as cases anymore because they're dead. So yeah, that is a way, not the way I would have done it, but that's a way. You made all the pain. That's true. And what's amazing though is while you were destroying this state for the past 10 years, where 1.5 million people, almost 2 million people have left already, you still managed time to harass women in your office. I mean, that's kind of impressive, I guess. I mean, destroying an entire state of 18 million people is a big deal. I mean, that's a big deal. Trashing a budget of $200 billion, also a really big deal. And on top of all of that, maintaining your iron fist so no one can get around, and still, you know, having that personal touch of feeling people up personally. That's, you know, I guess in a way, I got to respect the player, I guess, a little bit.
In the country. Nobody thought that we could do it, but New Yorkers did it.
See that?
That shows that there's nothing that we can't do.
Just leave me alone.
When we work together.
We'll catch the real harassers.
Together as one community, as one family.
One nation, one people, one leader. We ever heard that before? Some of you get that.
As New Yorkers, we will. Thank you.
All right. Some of you, if you have your bucket and you're done throwing up, we can chat about this, because, oh my God, that is literally his response. Now, while it's terrible, it's also so obvious. Like, I can see that and know exactly why they wrote what they wrote and why they wrote for it. The question is, will you see this online, on TV, on YouTube? Will you see these talking points or not? If you start seeing these talking points, he's winning. If you don't, he's in trouble. That's how it works. That's really how it works. If the talking points start coming out, he's winning. So, yes. Let me grab a couple of these again, if I can. Jonathan says, Larry, if you run next gubernatorial election, I have no issues working your campaign again. Thank you, brother. I will need the help. That is for sure. Tony says she's grandstanding. She has nothing to lose. Tony, I think you talked about Letitia James. If she had gone halfway, she would have, right? You don't want to become Cuomo's enemy and not be able to finish him off. So she believes that she can finish him off. My gut says she leaked this to Schumer. She leaked this to Gillibrand, our two senators. She leaked this, is my gut. I have no proof of this. This is just my opinion. And she got them to go, yeah, do it. Do it. We're behind you. Because they have turned on him. And that's the issue. They have turned on him. This, real fast, is what Schumer says in 5 seconds. This is from
statement we released in March calling on the governor to resign. Let me read you the statement.
They wanted him to resign.
This is from Senator Gillibrand and myself. As we have said before, the reported actions of the governor were profoundly disturbing, inappropriate, and completely unacceptable.
They want him to resign.
Today's report from the New York State Attorney General substantiated and corroborated the allegations of the brave women who came forward to share their stories. And we commend the women for doing so.
Also true. You want the women to feel safe.
The New York State Attorney General has conducted an independent, thorough, and professional investigation that found the governor violated state and federal law, had a pattern of sexually harassing current and former employees. Retaliated against
retaliation too on top of it.
At least one of the accusers, and created a hostile work environment.
There we go.
No elected official is above the law. The people of New York deserve better leadership in the governor's office. We continue to believe that the governor should resign.
So that happened already. And Biden said it too. And of all of those that happen, Biden's the worst, because most of his money comes from Biden. The state's flush with cash that came from the federal government. So Biden bucks already came to New York. So he needs to keep getting the Biden bucks to keep people happy. That's how he keeps people happy. So if he loses Biden bucks, he's in trouble. The worst one of all of them was Biden, right? The other two, who cares? They said it before, he didn't care. Doesn't matter. Gillibrand and Schumer don't actually matter. Biden matters, because that's where the big dollars are coming from. So yeah, that's definitely an issue. So yeah, even that's happening here too. Let me grab a couple of these if I can. So you guys give me so many things. I appreciate that. Yes. Larry Sharpe, you're eviscerating this cat. Because I know what he's doing, Nate. Like, I can see it. I can see what he's doing. I can see how he's acting. I can see what he's doing. He's trying to set up talking points for people to just keep talking. So, yes. And it says, true story. I put his name along with some other people I want out of my life in an ice cube tray and froze him in the freezer. Old pagan trick. Oh, does that work? Not bad. So, I love the way he sneers when he says female managers. Yeah, you caught that, huh, Paula? Paula, you're savvy. You're watching this. You get it. Exactly. There's a problem. It doesn't match, right? Because he actually knows in his head, in his heart, he knows in his heart that it's really him. And when he's saying female managers, he's upset that they're female and he's not feeling them up as number one, because he's a horrible misogynist. But not just that, he knows it's really him. So he's just throwing it on them. Have you noticed always when things go south, when things go bad for him, everyone around Cuomo goes to jail or gets in trouble, not him. But there's an interesting piece here. Remember when Trump had the same issues? Lots of issues with 12 women or whatever were bad for him. Republicans, they got around him. Republicans were like, no, we're behind him. Democrats, I'm not sure yet. We're going to see where they go. We're going to see where Democrats go in this one. Ryan says, Cuomo, no, my office works really hard, and you steal from us out of every check so you can waste it on bike pass and use the non-zero to line pockets. Yes, correct. Yes, lots of people work hard, not just him. Thank you, Ryan. Lots of them do. Yes, absolutely. Adam says he loves to love people and his workplace is dedicated to helping people, and now he's advancing women in the workplace. Adam, you should work. Yes. Wow. That was actually well done. Adam, you do this for a living? That is wonderful. That was his entire pitch. Adam put the entire thing together in one sentence. If you start seeing Adam's sentence running around, it's working. He loves to love people, and his workplace is dedicated to helping people, and now he's advancing women in the workplace. That's literally the message that he wants to get out. If you see this on his pages, on Twitter, then it's working. Thank you, Adam. It's brilliant, by the way, brother. Well done. Well done. So, yes. Alfred says, can we still call this guy the Honorable Andrew Cuomo? Did we ever? I don't know. John says, here's double standard, Andy. You preached believe women in 2018 during the Kavanaugh hearings. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And right now you're calling the women accusing him of sexual harassment liars and downplaying their experience. Yes. Yes, absolutely. But John, he loves women and he loves people, and his workplace is dedicated to helping people. And now he's advancing women in the workplace. So erase that. Done. Erase that. There we go. Julie, very good. Says you, Cuomo. Yes. Yes. Those aren't facts. Those are his facts. Yes. Does Cuomo believe his own BS? No, of course not. No. That's what the face was messed up. Paula caught the face. He doesn't believe this stuff. He's just doing it because he doesn't want to get booted. He doesn't believe any of this. Absolutely. Doesn't believe any of it. Shelley goes, he just put down the entire rest of state workers that don't work as hard as his staff. Yep. Yeah. And I want to hear from, the unions. Absolutely. Unions speak the truth. The unions speak the truth, and he's cooked. Well, that's the other question, right? Shelley, do the organizations stay quiet? Do they turn on him actively? Do they support him? That's what I'm saying. These next couple of weeks really are going to show who is going to get behind him and who isn't. You know, he's on the phone now trying to convince everybody that he's the guy. He's got you covered. He's got the money, blah, blah. There's another piece, though. He's raised about $20 million. About $20 million. If you've put money into him, and this is going to sound insanely bad, but I'm just being forward. If it's you, Shelley, and you're a multimillionaire, and you've written him tons of checks, or you made sure your organization has written him big checks, whatever, and maybe you have a PAC for him or something, you've dropped $80,000, $160,000, $500,000 on this guy over the course of 10 years. If you dropped $500,000 on this guy, do you want him to go away? I know that sounds terrible, but I'm just being forward. Do you want him to go away? You bought him. You kind of want to use him, right? You bought him. You dropped $500,000 on him. You bought him. You want to use him, don't you? What are you now got to $500,000 on the next guy? You want to do that? You bought this one. As horrible as that sounds, I think you all know what I'm talking about. So there's that aspect too. So the question is, do people still want to use him because they bought him? Or do they go, this is over, I throw my money away, next, and they pump the next guy up? Maybe. So yeah. Butch says, and he complained about Trump doing the same Trump's doings before becoming president. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Yep. Paula says, this is kind of what Clinton did. Sure, he gets a little rapey at times, but he's still the hero women need. What is the occasional rape accusation? Yeah. It's what Adam said. He's supporting women's rights. So, look, if a woman has to get felt up here or there and her dreams and hopes have to be smashed, you know, a couple dozen women have to have their dreams smashed. You know, all comes out in the wash because he's going to, I don't know, pass a pro-women's law or something, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. John says, with Biden, almost every prominent Democrat calling for his resignation, is he done now? The reelect this guy, I will never want to hear Orange Man bad again. Yes, John, very good. If he actually does run and win again, you can never be mad at Trump ever again. You just can't. They've become the same guy at that point, right? Both have bad sexual stuff on them. Same guy. Yep. So yes. All right. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see. John says, I wonder how many of those female staffers were invited to a shower to hear him sing. Won't forget his debate with the sacrificial. I know. Yes. Terrible. Oh, Nancy. Nice. Handmaids. Nicely done. Handmaids. Yes. Nicely done. Yes. That's good. All right. That should be a minute for evidence. The funny thing, Jericho, is some of this stuff they might want to, but the problem is, you know, you fight on this, right? The lawyers will fight back and forth whether they want to or not. His goal is going to be to not go to anything, just drop all charges, to not go. He doesn't want to go to court at all. He wants this all to just go away. That's what he wants. So he threatens, I look forward to this. I'm not scared of a fight. I'll take you all the way down. And people will get scared if he thinks he's going to do it. If most lawyers don't want to go to trial because you might lose. So why go to trial if you can get a settlement, if you can get an agreement, if you can get a plea deal? Why go to trial? So some lawyers love trial and will go to trial. Of course, some will. But most lawyers don't want to go to trial. I might lose. So instead, let's cut a deal. And what he's trying to say is no deals. Walk away or see you in court. He's trying to play that game. That's the issue. So we'll see. So Kurt says, this is fun because Cuomo backed her for AG. Yeah, that probably. The problem is he was just using her as a token anyway. So I guess she gets the last laugh. So, yes. Shelley says, I feel bad for his daughters. Sadly, they've probably known all along. Oh, wow. I never actually thought of that, Shelley. You're right. Imagine if he was your father and that's who your father was. And it's not their fault. They're just kids. It's not their fault. They didn't do anything. They didn't ask to be born to him. And they were. It's true. It's a very valid point. I get that. Yes. Michelle says, I don't think he did Trump today. He didn't. You know what? Michelle, you're right. I should give credit where credit is due. This is the first time in I don't know how long that he's had a problem and he did not blame Trump. You're right. I'm going to give this man credit where credit is due. He did not say it was Trump's fault. And for almost everything else he does, he says that. This was not Trump's fault. There we go. Maybe he's evolving. Or just he couldn't figure out a way to make it Trump. I mean, I don't know. Yes. Paula says he is going to blame Trump or at least the GOP or some chick who wants his job. The third one. He did number 3. It had to be one of them. He did number 3. His voice hurts my brain. I've heard that for sure. Yes, I have. Yep. That's terrible. So that's funny. He's about to blame Republicans. Maybe. Yes. New York needs term limits. Yeah, it does. Yes. Larry, please don't use the score points. Can I get some points? I would like some points. If you give me some points, I'm so using this to get points. Can I have some points, please? I would love some points. Yes. So yeah. Dylan, we get good things done for people. Now he's delusional. He hasn't scored a win for New Yorkers in ever. That's true. All of his stuff fails. That's an accurate statement. Yes, all of his stuff fails. Absolutely. That's good. Yes. Let's see here. Oh, he went there. He goes everywhere. He doesn't care. No shame whatsoever. Absolutely. Which says maybe we can get someone in who realizes there's New York State, not just New York City. Yes. Let's finally make New York great again. I'm in. I think that's an awesome idea. I love that. Olinsky's Cuomo's glove fits. Then yeah, there we go. If the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. But his glove does fit. Thank you, Christopher, for that OJ reference. I love that. I love that OJ reference. But then again, that's it. It's good. Alfred, well, you guys are killing me with this good OJ stuff. His next book is it wouldn't be if I did it, it'd be if I grabbed it. If I kissed it, right? It'd be something like that. If I unwillingly hugged it, right? It's something like that. That's very good. I like that. Very good. Yeah. He's looking for the real harassers. Absolutely he is. Yes. Ooh, New York touch. Nicely done. You guys are doing good. These are good ones. I like this. That's very good. Yes. Adams, I told you, mate, he loves to love people should be his new slogan. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. He sounds ridiculous. Now, Nancy, I see that. And I think most of you listening and watching, you see that also. The question becomes, does the mainstream media get behind him or not? Right? That's the issue. Does the mainstream media get behind him or not? And right now, I'm not sure. Right now, they have to kind of be like, support the women. They kind of have to right now. The question is, will they next week? I don't know. We're like, it's been stunning. Things have come out to show that this woman is a bad woman because of the thing we just said. And if that happens, then we'll know. That's the issue. That really is it. So, yes. Let's see if I can go down here. Let's see. Someone's trying to make a meme. Please make the meme. I love that. Come on, meme. Do it. COVID beast. Of course it is. You knew it had to be COVID, right? I mean, you knew it had to be COVID, right? You just had to. Yes. Brian says he's had 10 years. How much damage does he need to do? Clearly, he's not done. Look, I'm just saying, Brian, there's a lot of butts that haven't been grabbed yet. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, he's got more butts to grab. He's got more people to kiss and more people to hug unwillingly. He has more people to do that. But there is something else that's interesting here, right? There is stuff happening. Right now, the assembly is looking at an impeachment, which is something, right? Eric Adams turned on him, and he was just with Eric Adams together. They were hugging and smooching like a month ago when Eric Adams won the primary, and now Eric Adams turned on him. So everyone's turned on him. So it's not looking good right now. The question is what happens a week from now, right? That's really the issue. What happens a week from now? We'll see, right? That's it. We'll see. Cuomo was a threat to Kamala Harris and the Democratic primary. Don't be fooled at all by Democrats pushing for impeachment. Huh? Just, I'm not sure where you're going with that. Are you saying that the White House wanted him out because of a threat to Harris? I would feel like, look, I'm not a Democrat, but if I was a Democrat, I would rather, prior to this, I would have rather had Cuomo than Harris, right? Cuomo at least might have, has power, has money, has far more than Harris has. If I'm looking for anybody, I would rather have Cuomo than Harris. At least I get some cash out of the guy, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. Maybe they really want Harris. Harris is like a weak candidate to me. So, I don't know. I'm Cuomo. I speak in riddles with no meaning to my attractive daughters. Yeah, kind of. Yes. Andrew says, nothing Cuomo says is blowing air up my shorts. I guess. Yes. All right. Let's see if I can keep going down here. Grab a couple more. Dixie does say, COVID is coming back in full force. Then the state is getting shut down. Then he'll open it back up and claim he helped usher in unprecedented growth. That could do it. Yes, that could do it. And, yep. and we'll have forgotten about the woman he sexually harassed. Brilliant plan. That actually could be a plan, Nixie. You're right. That really could be a plan. 100%. Butch says, I love New York, just the people running it into the ground. Agreed 100%. 100% yes. Michael says, yeah, his speech is definitely scripted. Yeah, you can see his eyes move. There's a teleprompter there. You definitely can see a teleprompter. 100%. Is 100% too, yes. So let's see here if I can grab this. We can work together by mandates. Yeah, that's true. Frank says, the thing Larry said about why New York had the highest and then the lowest COVID rate. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's true. Yes, absolutely. Michael says, I'm licking the vomit off my face. I know it's bad, isn't it? I know it's bad, but you get it, right? But like, you get what I'm talking about. You see where he's going. Julie says he's going to spend our money to defend himself and defund the police and no refund to us. Yes, remember that. He said that. He's using taxpayer dollars to defend himself. He said, well, it's the office of the executive. And if you remember, when they talked about it, when Letitia James's team talked about it, they talked about the office of the executive. When you say that, it means us, we have to pay for it. We have to pay for this. Yes. Why did Biden throw Cuomo under the bus saying he should resign? I don't think Biden actually did. I think Biden was caught. He said he should, and he couldn't back out. I think Biden probably doesn't care what happens in New York at all. He probably doesn't care at all. I mean, he's like, whatever, New York's Democrat. I don't care who the governor is. I'll get their votes. We'll get their votes in the next presidential election. I don't care who the governor is. That's what I would think. He doesn't care. I have no evidence of that. It's my opinion only, because why would he care? New York is going to go blue next time. He doesn't give a damn who the governor is. I think he said it, so he has to just follow it. And that's why I did it. If he had said no, I think he'd just be going no now. That's it. Adam says CNN and CNBC will blast those talking points 24/7 and make sure they're getting out there. See, this is the funny part. I actually trust MSNBC more than CNN. I do. And you're like, what? I do. Because MSNBC are similar to, they're similar to my Mayor de Blasio. My Mayor de Blasio, you hear me say it all the time, my mayor is a true believer. I haven't even done a show on the stuff we've done to New York City, because that kind of went by the wayside because of what happened today. But he's basically now making mandates for vaccine mandates, basically, for every place in New York City. Why? Why would a guy who's going to be out of office in 3 months or whatever, 4 months, whatever it is, going to be out of office soon? Why does he care so much? Why is he pushing it? Because he is a true believer. That's why he hates Cuomo, because he's a true believer. He's like, if we just turn the entire country socialist, then we're all going to have a socialist utopia. He believes all of that garbage. He is a true believer. Cuomo's not. He's not. MSNBC, they're more true believers. So they're more apt to turn on Cuomo because he's not left enough. He's not a true believer. He doesn't believe in a socialist utopia. So MSNBC is actually more likely to turn against him than CNN will. I'm not saying MSNBC will, because MSNBC does hate Republicans. So they might take Cuomo just to make sure they can not get Republicans. That's possible. But they are true believers. So they're more likely to turn than CNN will turn. More likely. That's it. So Alfred says, de Blasio does believe his own BS. He does. Yes. He absolutely does believe his own BS. That's 100% true. He's a true believer down to whatever. Total true believer, 100%. Yes. So, all right, if I can do this here. Let's see. At least Spitz admitted to being dirty. Valid point. You're right, Matt. He admitted it and he stepped down. That's true. That's true. He did that and he did step down. Also true. Yes. So there's something right there. There we go. Where's Gilla Brand? Have not heard from her yet. Well, I think she's believing women. I don't know. Is that what it is? I guess. Yes. I guess. Yes. Let's see. If I can grab this here. Hold on. Where is it? Nope, not that one. Biden probably doesn't even know who the governor is. That might be true, Matthew. I don't even know. Maybe. Yes, maybe. I'm not even sure. I hope that this was an interesting one for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it and you saw what I saw in it. I don't think he's finished. I don't think he's finished at all, right? I think he's got a whole lot more going and he's not finished, right? Alfred says, Harris versus Cuomo, lock you up versus fill you up. Well done. Which one do you want? You want to go to jail or you want to get harassed? Which would you prefer doing? Well, you get either one, which is better. I love that. So if I can, you know what I'm going to ask you. If you enjoyed what I did, then do me a favor, like, comment, and share. This is an important one for people to see. It's happening. Remember, what happens in New York State crosses the entire country. If this works, watch this keep going. And his next, remember, if he gets around this and still wins, he is untouchable. Just keep that in mind. He's untouchable if he actually gets past this. That's why he's rolling the dice. He wins this, he's untouchable. If you want to help support the show, please take the world's smallest political quiz. The link is right there. Take the quiz. I know you all haven't taken it, so please take it. If you have taken the quiz, do me a favor. Go there anyway and take the other quizzes. There's other surveys there, 6 or 7 other surveys. Click that link, go to the other single issue surveys. There's tons of them. Take a couple of them and share them. It makes my sponsors, the Advocates for Self-Government, happy. They like it. They keep sponsoring the show. I can keep doing this. If you like what I'm doing, if you want to support me, take that quiz. If you've taken it, go there anyway and take some other quiz. There's like 6 of them there. Take one of them and share it. It makes them happy, and then they keep sponsoring me. Please, it's free. Please do it. If you're like, Larry, I don't want to do free stuff. Great, then give me money. Go to patreon.com/Sharpe and do $10 a month so I can keep doing this. I'm late sometimes, so I'm trying to do my day job. So yes, help me out. Move this forward. I got to keep paying my staff. All the times you see people who are responding, all the times you see people who are putting up stuff, you click that link tree, and what are you going to find? My book that's coming out. You're going to find our TikTok account. You're going to find our podcast. You can take some podcasts or send to other people. That takes time and energy and money. And please, either take those quizzes or patreon.com/Sharpe. Throw me $10 a month, $25 a month if you got it, but $10 will do. I appreciate it. And the last piece I'll ask you, please subscribe to all the Sharpe Way stuff. It does matter. If I get canceled on Larry Sharpe, I got to be able to go to Sharpe Way. It's important. Please click those links, follow them. It does matter. Do it now. Click those links. It does matter. Every little bit counts for me to grow to the best of my ability. And if you want me to grow, and hopefully you do, or you wouldn't be watching if you didn't, then you'll help me out in some way, whatever you can. Like, what, do I have merch? I do. Absolutely. Go to Sharpe Way. There is a store. Click that store. There is merch. Absolutely. If you want to pick up a shirt, pick up a mug, please feel free. Take care of that. You can buy merch if you want to. Yes. That would help me tremendously. Guys, thank you so much for today. I appreciate all the time you gave me. Thank you for giving me a chunk of your evening. We will keep going, and I will see you all tomorrow. I have a very cool guest tomorrow. Someone from Tuttle Twins, believe it or not. Yes, the people who are writing the cool children's books that push the liberty message will be on tomorrow. I will see you all then.